today's self-care, self-matters video tip. You're getting close to the end of your program now, I'm sadly to say, so I decided to meet you and greet you in person and just give you that little extra boost and to help you to realise, what the program is all about. And the more you do for yourself, I keep saying it over and over and over, and the more you appreciate yourself, the happier you're going to be. And that is really what the whole program is about. Anyway, I will be speaking to you more about that another day. So today I'm going to speak to you about there's 5 main emotions, okay, groups. So 5 main emotional groups. And we have 1 equals joy, 2 equals sympathy, sympathy or compassion, okay? 3 equals grief, 4 equals anger, and 5 equals fear. Oh, that great 4 little word, 4-letter word. Now, we'll add a triple dots on there as well. Joy, sympathy, compassion, grief, anger and fear. These are the 5 main emotions that we all experience throughout different times of our lives. Okay? Now, each of these emotions is specifically linked to specific parts of the body. Okay? So fear is linked to the whole bladder, kidney. Anger is linked to your liver and gallbladder. Grief is linked to your intestines, okay? So you may be holding on, grief, all that type of thing. I'm going to go through all of these now. Sympathy, compassion is all into your spleen and your pancreas. Joy is linked to your adrenals, your thyroid, the kind of the glandular system, your heart, all of those, okay? And if any of these are out of balance, okay, we're looking for a balance in everything, right? If we don't have the balance, if we are like this, right, there's going to be a lot of stress and strain in those particular parts of the body. And as you know, as everything works in this format, this will have a knock-on effect on this and on this and on this and so on. And as the time goes on, you will just become more unhappy, more unhealthy, more unbalanced, more frustrated, more confused, more annoyed, more resentful, which are all different levels of these 5 emotions. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself, right now, what brings joy into my life? How joyful do I feel? On a scale of 1 to 10, where am I? And do your plus and your minus. What are the things that bring joy? What are the things that take away joy? Sympathy. What are the things that I feel sympathetic about? What are the things that I should be or need to feel sympathetic about and I don't? Are you an emphatic type of person? Are you somebody who listens and feels for others? Now, remember, everything is a balance. Often, people can have too much empathy and sympathy for other people. That is not serving you. You need to have a balance of everything. So again, if you've lost someone that you loved, you can be going through, a time of grieving, and a lot of people will be sympathising with you and showing that they care for you and all of that. Grief. Grief is somebody giving you grief. You yourself giving yourself grief. This is number 1. Being hard on yourself, giving out yourself, putting yourself down. You never are enough. You never reach the mark. That's grief. Somebody bullying you, harassing you, being in an abusive relationship, in a work situation. Grief is also the loss of a loved one. Suffering, you're grieving, you're going through the loss. You have suffered loss. That can be a pet, it can be a loved one, it can be a job, it can be a business, it can be anything, okay? Are you grieving at the moment? Or have you not grieved? Do you need to grieve for something? So this is where I want you to start thinking about the positives and the negatives and where you stand in relation to each of these. Anger. Anger is a very real emotion, and anger is something that we feel that we should not be feeling. Why not? Anger must be felt, but it must be released. The problem with anger is if you feel it and you bottle it up inside, then that's when it becomes extremely unhealthy, and anger is something you must get out of the body. Okay? So anger. If you suddenly have lots of pimples arising, if you feel like the hair is standing up in the back of your neck, if you're overreacting, if you are taking your feelings out on someone that you love, on the wrong people, you know, who are you angry with? Why are you angry? Are you angry with yourself? This is extremely common. Okay? Fear. Positive and negative. Fear is very positive. It is actually a very positive emotion, but we will always see it as being negative. Too much of it is extremely negative. Not enough of it can be negative. You need the balance, okay? So if this is the fire, and I go to put my hand in the fire, and I'm absolutely no fear of it, and I keep burning myself, that is not listening to that fear. You have fear to protect you. That is why we have that fear instinct, is to protect you, to run, to get away, to escape, to be, well, to look after yourself. So when you are learning and growing, when you touch things and you have that fear, that will stop you from doing it. But that is a learning thing. It becomes very unhealthy when fear paralyzes you. When it stops you in your tracks and when it prevents you from doing things that are going to make you happy. For instance, I have fear of going for that job interview, but I really want that job because that job is going to give me more money, it's going to help me to relocate, it's going to fulfill so many other needs inside me. But because I have a fear of being interviewed, you never get past that, you see? So if you have that kind of fear, it stops you. So I want you to ask yourself today, where am I fearful? In what areas of my life am I holding on to fear? What am I afraid of? What's going to happen? Okay? And touch in with them. And touch in with your adrenals. Touch in with your liver. Touch in with your intestines. Touch in with your whole spleen and pancreas. Touch in with your heart, joy. Now, people often say to me, how can joy be negative? Too much of anything, too much of a good thing is just as bad as not having enough of something that you need. So for instance, if your idea of joy is being out every night at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that is going to wear you out. You're depleting yourself of energy, you're not getting enough sleep, it's going to leave you cranky, mood swings, blood sugars, look, on and on and on it goes. So too much of a good thing, too much of wine. People will think wine is something that's joyful. Okay, a little, a glass, I love one myself, but not a whole bottle every single night. So you see, you can do too much of a thing that does bring you joy as well. It's about the balance, it's about listening to yourself, it's about understanding how all of these work on the scale of the body within you in all of these organs. Okay, so check in with yourself, see where you're at, and I look forward to seeing you the next day for another life-changing, thought-provoking self-care matter tip.